maybe in a year that's been so up and down, as much of a peak as there's been for you guys all season?
Well, if you look at last week, I think we had a pretty darn good first half last week. These guys, the energy that's in the locker room, and it was the same way last week at Ohio State when we played Notre Dame, is before the game. I've never seen it with that much energy in the locker room, and then again at halftime. And that's unique because usually at halftime they're kind of recovering and regrouping, but they were jumping off the walls last week and again today. And they know they're in a great spot, and I continue to talk about there's no pressure on these guys, none. There's been a lot of pressure on the entire program and previous teams, but nobody expected. We barely got in the tournament. 8 minutes to go in the first Notre Dame game, we may not be here. So it was almost a relief that we got in, and now we have an opportunity to just let our hair down and play, and that's what these guys are doing. And I have great coaches. Coach Fifes at the defensive end and Coach Metz offensively are doing a fabulous job of building their confidence every day so they can go out and compete. But a 9-2 lead, we know on the flip side, scoring 8 goals in the fourth quarter in our first Notre Dame game, how important it is to play 60 minutes. And so we always can look at that on the other side and say, hey, we got to keep playing. You got to finish the game. And we didn't do a great job of that, but these guys have a ton of confidence. So they feel like they can make a play every time they're on the field.
Yeah, correct.
Can you just elaborate a little bit on what Steve was just saying there about moving the ball offensively and sort of the game plan going in against this Loyola, this great Loyola defense? And
one thing we don't do is we don't make a lot of changes. We have some tweaks here and there, and 2-man games and so forth. But it has been since our early woes at 3-3 that where everybody was kind of looking over their shoulder, looking for somebody to make a play, and some of those guys had graduated. So we understand that we are at our best when all 6 have to make plays. And once they figured that out, once the light bulb went on there, it's been a new team. So offensively, when you look at some of the output offensively that we've had early in the season, it's a lot different now. And they're going up against some really good defenses, and we're getting quality shots. That's one thing we focused on in this particular game was we know how hot the freshman goalie is. So we wanted to get to the middle of the field. So Cloutier sometimes, will get the goal line extended and he can score those. But we told him, take the extra step to the front of the cage and get quality shots so we don't get the goalie hot. So it takes a village down at the offensive end as well as the defensive.
Sure, right on the side, yes.
Coach, you ended the one drought, the Final Four drought. What about the opportunity to end the championship drought that dates back to '91?
I'm just thrilled we're playing on Monday, and during that same time having an opportunity to celebrate the '91 team at halftime. So the stars aligned at the right time, and it's a credit to the young men in the locker room who made it happen. I tell them all the time, look, it's not about the X's and O's. We can only do what we do by putting you in the best position for success, but you have to go out and make a play. And to be able to celebrate it with the '91 team on Monday, it couldn't be any better.